Hey guys, welcome back. I started playing Clash Royale a little bit ago. I think it was actually 2 days ago, and we've made pretty good progress. We're about midway through level 4, and having a lot of fun with the game. I'd say the biggest frustration, I think this is a common frustration for this game, it's so limited in progress. There's no way to really rush this without spending real money in it. The amount of gameplay time you need to do, like the minimum amount, in order to move forward. There's no kind of difference between the minimum and the maximum, how much you could invest in terms of time to move this game forward. So you do your battles, you collect some chests, and then they instantly go into these super long cooldowns. So I don't get to collect these chests for 3 hours. It takes about 3 minutes to get one. You go and you do a battle, you win the battle, you get a chest every time. The smallest cooldown for a chest is 3 hours. So it really big difference between the amount of gameplay and the amount of these timers that are slowing you down. We got a couple other things, free chests and the crown chest up there near the top. Adds just a little bit, but it's still just a really long wait. So that's the biggest downside, but on the upside, it is a really fun game to play. I actually held off because it's a tower defense kind of game. There's lanes. I've played a lot of games like this, and they're really fun, but it's a similar kind of thing. There's also kind of a card aspect in terms of you level up the characters you're going to bring in. Again, it's an aspect that's been used a fair amount, but I should have known better. From the makers of Clash of Clans, a really fun game to play, all frustrations aside. So having a good time with it. I'm going to go over and look. After just 2 days of gameplay, we've got some of our stuff leveled up here. We've got some different choices. There are a lot of cards that we don't have yet. A lot of really powerful stuff. So this is a pretty low level account. But it's fun. There's a lot of people that play in that low-level area. I thought it might be fun to do some videos on this, some different strategies. Just this morning, I was able to unlock this barbarian hut, and I got lucky, and he showed up in the cards you can make a purchase for as well. And this was one of the big kind of near-term goals that I had, was to get that, try to work that into my strategy. These huts produce the character whatever kind of unit it is, over and over again until they run out of time. The health depletes over time. This one lasts for, what's the lifetime? 1 minute. So it's going to keep depleting as it produces these little barbarian dudes, but it's like an investment. It's like a longer term. It's not going to be as powerful as using in the moment as using that 7 elixir for something else, putting out some of these other guys. But over time, it's going to be more powerful collectively than something you put out right away. So I really like them. It's a good use of elixir if you can use your strategy, try to clog up the hole or something, so you can make use of your tower, and then put these out. You can get more value over time. You just got to use them the right way. And I'm still learning, honestly, some of the best ways to use these things. Give me another week in here. We're going to have some really solid strategies. Similarly, we've got the Goblin Hut. This is for little spear-throwing goblins, so put these two together. Works really well. Those barbarians they've got a little bit of tank ability to them, and then, a moderate amount of damage, and then the Goblin Hut as well. And I am really looking forward to, longer term, getting a hold of this crossbow. We're going to have a lot of fun once you get that. There's some cool strategies you can integrate in there as well. So we've got some of these guys right here. We're working with those. I want to show a video here in just a second and show some gameplay with these cards using this group. So let's go ahead to that. Alright, so we've got a battle going on here. Most of the battles I'm doing are against level 5 players or level 6 players. So I was lucky to get a level 4 kind of on the same par here. And the first thing they do is they lead with this balloon. And the balloon's kind of an interesting unit in that it's pretty weak, but it does a lot of damage. It's really meant for base attacks, in the same way with Clash of Clans. That's the main goal, is just doing some upfront damage. But I'm surprised you'd want to lead like that. Doesn't provide a lot of value longer term. So I dropped the hut. We're early in the game. I'm hoping to build up some long-term value. So he was saving up, waited for my guys to get closer so he could overwhelm them with kind of a horde of those little skeleton dudes. And he's whoever this other character we're playing against, this player, very tower-oriented, which actually makes for a pretty good defense against the strategy I'm using these, basically getting hordes and hordes of troops coming from these huts. And so we've got to kind of mix things up, figure out exactly what we're going to do. And he's very tower-based. He's got a lot of the instant and those balloons as well, I guess, kind of for taking out our towers. So his tower with the bombs is especially effective against our hordes of characters. We gotta watch out for that. Again, just learning through this process. And if anything, this deck that I currently have, these 8 characters I can choose from, it's got a weakness against aerial attacks. So that part's a little bit rough too. We've got a giant in here. He does good damage to the towers, and he can tank for us to protect some of those hordes. We're not making a whole lot of progress. He just threw the barrel down. It's not one of my favorites. Again, it's a short-term gain. But you know, overall, he's winning the tower damage so far. He's got slightly more tower damage. I've got 310. He's at 398. So we've got to do something a little different to mix this up and make it a better second half. We've got a minute left, and he dropped down the hordes. The best place to defend, for me, is right in front of that tower. You can make use of the range damage for the tower, but not actually take hits. If you can play that game, that's by far the most effective. Now, unfortunately, we had that bomb come in, then he dropped this other, so we're going to lose our tower right now. So he's ahead, but we're really close. He did those, the short-term doing damage, try to get a quick win, and it was working out all right. He was ahead right then, but we've got hordes coming in on him. So we've got the longer-term play, and right now it looks like it's paying off. We're going to take this tower in the last 10 seconds, and it's going to push us on to the overtime. And I love the double elixir. My deck is a little elixir heavy. You get to see what your average amount of elixir is. And I think mine's a little bit on the top side. I'll have to maybe work on that for future decks. Again, we're playing with limited numbers of cards. You see just the hordes coming in here. We're making use of having all this plethora of elixir. It comes in twice as fast, twice the speed at this point, like in the last minute and during overtime. So I think that lends itself well to our deck, especially. Let's close out of that. So, having a really good time. I don't want to show too many right now. It'd be great to hear some requests, see if you guys are liking this game, if you've been playing it. Especially as we're waiting for new developments, new things to come out with Dungeon Boss and some of the other games. I think this could be a fun one to fill in some time. So, let me know what you think. It'd be good to hear from you and see what you're looking for. I'm sure there's quite a few people with lower level accounts like this, and maybe some different strategy videos would be up. Another thing I want to announce is I just started up a Twitter account so that I could put out really fast updates on different things. A lot of times, the Dungeon Boss stuff, especially, I'll find a solution maybe partway through to an event boss. We just had one video I just put out. Really, I think, a great way to do it, but I was able to get the video out maybe 10 hours after I figured out how to do it. It'd be great to give you guys, shoot out a little bit of information. Say, this is how I got the 3-star on the event boss. Get it out there right away. I was looking for something like that. I think Twitter's going to be the way to go. If someone else has a better solution, let me know. I'm not married to any of these things, but I would like to have some way to put that information out, put out the team that got the 3-star victory, put out some tip on something right away, for the general help. So let me know what you think, and thanks again for watching. We'll talk to everyone soon. If you like this, then you're going to love what we have coming out next. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more mobile gaming videos, or check out the rest of the channel for more tips and tricks. If you don't have this game yet, feel free to download it from the sponsored link in the video description below. These downloads help to support the channel and help us to continue to put out more great videos. Thanks again for all your support, and come back soon as we continue our quest, seeking every possible advantage.